It's going to be a process, probably take anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks. He's probably going to miss the first game. Very good chance he'll be back in the second game. Marcus Trotter pulled his hamstring yesterday, and his twin brother followed today. Both of them had pink eye last spring, 1 day apart. They both had operated shoulders on the right shoulder, if you want to do a story on that. Dallas Llewellyn, unfortunately, the same knee that he kind of had troubles with at the end of the spring. It may not be as serious. We'll know a lot more information on him here in a couple hours. Desmond Southward rolled his ankle up a little bit. He should be back, if not tomorrow, by the end of this week. A.J. Fenton, again, his hamstring, just a slight pull. We actually think he might practice tomorrow or the next day. And then just a couple guys that we held out. Chris Borland, as he works back into it, we're just kind of taking it day by day, how he feels and moves around. And really, that was our choice as coaches, just to ease him back into it right now, just to get our young guys reps. And then David Gilbert, he just got tendonitis and his right knee flared up a little bit, so we just sat out today.
With Garner being a young guy at the wide receiver position, A, how much does that hurt him trying to get some playing time, and B, who's the next guy to fill in?
Two things. Chase Hammond, I didn't mention Chase either. Chase, unfortunately, has got some things going on inside his ankle, so we're going to go in and clean that up. He'll be out 4 to 6 weeks. With that, we brought in Jake Stengel as a replacement in 105. With Manessa, we want to keep him integrated. He's really, actually the surgery will be done tomorrow. They expect him up and moving by Thursday. So we're going to keep him in the 105. We're not going to take him out of it because there is a chance that he could play not in the first game but in the second game.
But as far as he can't play in that first game, who's the next guy for the third wide receiver? Is it Duckworth?
Up to grab. That's what I kind of addressed there at the end of the day. You got Duckworth, you got Kenzel Doe. I'm not ruling out any of the 3 freshmen. I mean, I haven't seen somebody step forward there that I'd like to kind of come out of the pack. What I just kind of expressed out there to the team is I went around and named 3 or 4 of our big-time starters, and I said, when did you first get your chance? I asked Peter Kahns, Travis Frederick, Mike Taylor. All those guys got their first chance to play, and somebody in front of them got injured. And that's the way it usually happens in college football.
Can Jordan be physical enough at this early stage?
Jordan Frederick?
No, A.J. Jordan. You're talking about the freshman.
I would say Jordan Frederick would be the guy I'd look at.
Okay.
I don't think A.J. Jordan, physically he's going to be a very good player, but Jordan Frederick is not afraid of anybody. We put him in 2 drills yesterday. I saw him take on Mike Taylor hand-to-hand and beat him on an inside move. So I think of all the inside of the freshmen coming on, Jordan Frederick's the guy.
Talk about the work of James and Monty the first couple days.
I just love the way exactly what you said, they work. We played a little game the other day where I mentioned someone's name and I say, I respect you for this. So I threw it out to Josh Ogilvie, and it gets passed all the way around the room, and someone threw it to Monty Ball, and to James White, and James White turned around and threw it to Monty. He said he just respected the way he competed every day and admired his work ethic, and I think those two got something special going right now. It's rubbed off on Jeff Lewis. To this date, I think Jeff has probably had as good a camp as I could expect. He's still weak in certain areas, but he's very, very strong so far.
Do you have any doubts about Monty breaking tackles at his lighter weight? I mean, he still looks physical.
Yeah, I think he looks physical. I think Monty's the thing that happened, he lost some weight that maybe was excess baggage to carry. The muscle, the power, all the strength numbers are up. So really the power, I don't think is affected at all.
Yesterday before Marcus Trotter went out, I think he was the second Mike linebacker in there, and then Ethan, was that Sam?
Yeah.
Went Fenton out. Is Ethan Mike and Sam?
I think Ethan's a lot like Blake Sorensen. He's a guy that is kind of a jack of all trades. We had him in at Mike. We had him listed all through summer, all spring, if you remember. He played Mike last year, but when we were sitting down, we were just trying to get our best personnel on the field. Ethan's been through a lot. He just has come back so strong. I know Huck's felt really strong. I felt the same way to get him in a position to hopefully get on the field. And obviously when Chris is in there, but then also when Marcus, when both those guys are out of there, now we're a little thin. So we'll just have to play with that as we go.
Josh, Ogilvie's first 2 days.
I think the part about Josh is you can see him limping around a little bit. He's sucking it up and trying to go. He's just obviously that knee. It's continued to give him issues, and we just got to really make sure as coaches that we're giving him the right amount of reps so he can kind of get himself through it.
Josh Harrison had an interception. Is that what you want when a guy gets a chance like that, obviously?
Exactly. And I went over to him right afterwards and said, hey, great play, but you got to make the mic is our voice. He's our quarterback on defense. So Josh is very athletic. He's a willing soldier. He's a great kid to be around, but he's got to make sure he makes all the right calls to get us to that 3rd down interception. But athletically, he's a very good player.
The other day you said, you made an emphasis that nothing will be handed to Welch, that he's going to be pushed by those 2 guys. The last 2 days, they've been the only one taking the kicks out here anyway.
Yeah.
Welch has the kick. Is there any?
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a leg issue, so no, he is injured and wasn't out there. If we played tomorrow, Kyle French would be the starting field goal kicker without a question. And to me, if I'm Kyle, I wouldn't lose that job. I mean, he's out here stroking it as nice as anybody, and pretty impressive.
Yesterday, Melvin Gordon, he got the ball knocked out one time, and you guys harped on it, and then it didn't happen the second time, and then he learned quickly.
I thought today was his worst day. Was you guys weren't here. I mean, the first day he was like it was like he was back at Kenosha. I mean, he was kind of all over the place. Nothing wrong with Kenosha, but you know, the second day was a little bit better. Monday was a lot better, and then to jump from today to from yesterday to today, I thought was big time. He made, you know, I don't think he's ever really been involved in his detailed protection. He stepped up in there in the end, and yeah, I think his learning curve is going to be very, very steep.
He catches the ball pretty well, too.
He does. He's a natural catcher and kick returns and out of the backfield. Melvin is a very gifted. Melvin's going to be a very good football player here.
Just a couple days in, how do you think Budmeyer and Wilson are performing?
The way I see it is, John has been better the last couple of days. I think he just finally kind of relaxed and got in the flow of it. You know, Russell does some really good things, some things that he's still trying to work his way through. And as a quarterback, you know, they're in control of that whole thing. So I think the more reps in team situations we put those guys in, the better for both of them.
Does Russell seem pretty comfortable out there already?
I think he's comfortable from the time he walks off to the time he walks on the field to the time he walks off. I think he takes coaching very, very well. I think he's been very, very good in bonding with the guys around him, even our defensive guys. So it's fun to watch. Yeah, Warren, you know, he's raw. He's real. Kind of always looks like he's out of control, but he's a willing soldier. And that fourth DN spot, I mean, it's Warren Herring, Conrad Zagzewski, it's Pat Muldoon. I saw Jesse Hayes, as efficient as any D lineman we've ever brought in here about staying play side, using his hands. You can tell his dad's an NFL coach. He's exceptionally at his fundamentals.
Kelly's been out, isn't he?
Yeah, his was more of a shoe issue. He was doing pretty good, and then we're working on a way to protect it. It's a certain motion with his foot when he plants a certain way. He's pretty good in everything except for that one motion. Obviously on the football field, we don't want to do anything until we get that shoot figured out to protect it. But day by day, you know, they're kind of designing a little thing to put on the inside. There's something on the inside. Now we're going to go more to the outside of the shoe.
The other day at Media Day, a lot of the guys talking about summer conditioning, and obviously a lot of guys with different bodies. Is there anything you guys did differently this summer? Any different emphasis?
No, I think just that every year that a kid's here, they kind of learn from the other guys and see what can happen. You know, you take OB and what his body did. You look at Lewis Nzegwa and David Gilreath. They finally, I think, just bought into, hey, if I do all the things nutritionally and all the things Herb's asked me to do, good things will happen, and a lot of it did.
How has Nzegwa looked so far?
I've been excited.